you go out last night?
Yes.
Until what time?
I came home at 4 a.m.
You go home at 4? I knew when you said we're gonna meet at noon. She's probably going out at night.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Passage. Do you know it?
The one in Karlsplatz that we were talking about last time?
I think it's Burgring. It's not. It's closest to Karlsplatz, but not.
I mean to Opera. I didn't mean Karlsplatz. It's the one that you go down.
Yeah.
That looks weird that people are standing outside there smoking.
Yes.
If you don't know it, you think, what is going on? Why people are just randomly smoking around this
that one
weird dark entrance that leads you to the bed cave?
There? Yeah. This one. It was cool. It was really cool. It was a Latin party.
Oh, that's why you were there, or you usually go in?
I usually go to the Latin party. Actually, they change it. They do it like in a lot of different places, and this time I wanted to go there. Like, it's a nice venue, I really like it, so I was there.
Yeah, you're lucky because Latin parties, Latin music is so popular, and you go to traditional things of yours, but you're still going to a popular event.
Yeah.
If I go to an Albanian party, no one cares, no one knows it, so it's just me and a few people from my country.
Mm-hmm. It was full. Like, I left because I couldn't breathe anymore. I was like, okay, I need some space, and I left. I mean, I really like it. I really like dancing and clubbing and this kind of things, but it was packed. I'm surprised. I'm glad. I'm glad for them, like for the organizers.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Do they do something else here in Vienna? Have they done something else?
Yeah, they do. It's called La Caña, the party, and they have been doing it for years.
La Caña, is it the female of the dogs, or?
No. La Caña.
Oh, that's La Perra.
La Perra. Yeah. La Caña in Spain, because the main organizer is Spanish, is like a pint of beer.
Oh.
And in Chile, it's hangover. Like, yeah.
I guess the name is more for the Chile version rather than the beer.
Yeah, I think it fits both ways. Yeah, it's a good name then.
Have you been home, like not recently? I know you told me about the visa, but when is the last time you went to Mexico?
In March for my birthday.
How old did you turn? I know I shouldn't ask, but I just did.
I turned 30.
Really?
Yeah.
We are the same year then.
92.
I was also born 92,
Yeah.
So, what, in Mexico City, right?
Yes.
What is it like over there? So
let
me ask you straight, and you have to answer me honestly.
Okay.
Which cartel do you belong to?
I'm not gonna say anything because everything could be misinterpreted. But Mexico City is not that crazy cartel-wise. It's more the north of the country.
What cities are north? Like something we know.
Ciudad Juárez, for example, Tijuana. Maybe you've heard of Tijuana.
Tijuana, yeah.
Sinaloa. There is the cartel of Sinaloa, like the north part. That's where the hot places are.
I'm very curious to know. So we basically speak openly of the existence of this cartel, and I believe they exist. But how is it over there that everybody knows they exist? Probably, of course, the government knows. So how is it? They just let it be to run like a business because somehow it helps and employs people, or
yes, basically.
Do they really fight it, or they don't fight it, that they act like they fight it but they don't want to really fight it?
So a lot of years ago, I don't know, I was probably a child, there was like this government that tried to, they were like, just let it be. Just let it be, as long as you don't like kill civil people, or you don't, it's the same. Government, it's always the same. I made a joke yesterday because I saw like corruption themed Halloween party, and I posted it, and I was like, corruption themed party, like my culture is not your entertainment, like because it's a very corrupt country, and like government wise at least, or authorities wise. Then a president came, his name was Calderon, and he tried to fight it. But he did it in the craziest way. He was just like, he didn't know anything. He was like, I'm just going to fight the cartels. So the cartels were like, bro, the other government was letting us do our business. You're trying to stop us. Well, you're also corrupt. We're going to kill all the people. So they started like killing civils. Wow. And I don't know. They
started killing just innocent people?
Yeah. And they also started doing other business like human trafficking, organs trafficking, like prostitution, like forced prostitution.
So you mean that they just do drug dealings? They don't get into people?
Before, now it's a mess. Now they do everything. So I remember I was, 15, so I was a teenager. I wanted to party, and we were told, like, don't go outside after 9 p.m. because the cartels are coming. It got crazy, like things we have never seen before. Like, we knew drugs were a thing, but we have never seen it actually there. And also, like, my friends who had business owners, cousins or uncles or whatever, they got like a little note saying, we are this cartel, if you don't give us money, we are going to just burn down your business. And like protection money.
So it's the same thing like the mafia in the US or Italy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So there is no one, sorry to interrupt, there is no one that is doing these illegal activities outside of a cartel. If someone is doing it, they fight him or...
Yeah, exactly.
So you're either with them or against them.
Yeah.
Are there many cartels over there?
I don't know.
Known ones at least?
Like the most famous ones, I think like 5 cartels, something like that. And the thing is, like, if you...
It's like the 5 families in New York, the mafia.
Yeah. It's literally
so
like
you're talking and it's like I'm watching a movie. I can't believe this is real.
It's crazy. I can't believe I lived that. And like, we think it's normal. Like, we really think it's, the cartel, they told me that, like, it's crazy.
I hear stories, for example, a lot of stories went out when El Chapo was captured and arrested, and actually people, I don't know, maybe it's just the media, but people would say that he was a hero to them. So what is the opinion of the people? Are they really employing and making people kind of, not rich, but giving them a job?
Yes, the thing is, so El Chapo is a very good example because he was born in a very poor family in the middle of nowhere in the north of Mexico, where they tell them they have to be like farmers. That the only possibility is to be a farmer or a narco.
So he basically became an entrepreneur. He started a business.
He was invited, because there is a documentary about him, so he was invited to be part of the business, because you're either a farmer who earns nothing, because also like agriculture, it's very like, it's not funded or anything, like they don't care about it, and it's so important, especially in Mexico. Like, we export so many things, avocados, corn, everything,
beer.
Sure.
It's true.
And they don't put the focus on it. So it's like, I'm not going to be a farmer. My other possibility is being a narco, and also narco brings me power, brings me money, brings me, so many things that being a farmer doesn't. So they are like, I'm going to be a narco. It's like they only have these 2 possibilities in these parts of the country. So they do it, and then they are like, I'm coming back to my town, to my hometown, and I'm going to give the people like money or whatever. But they are also like, I'm going to give you money, I'm going to make your business grow, but if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to kill you. So yes, they are heroes in that kind of way, but if you're against them, exactly.
Wow.
Only their way. It's crazy.
I heard they legalize a lot of money by opening business like casinos or hotels, resorts. So they're also getting illegal. Probably they are doing this for a long time now. I don't think this is money laundering. So it's impressive. I really don't understand. I think I believe you, but I don't think I really understand how is it to live.
Salvador Dali, the painter, imagine, and this was a lot of years ago, he said that he didn't want to come back to Mexico anymore because he couldn't bear being in a place that was more surrealist than his paintings.
That's a good one. Well, I also grew up in a city where being a drug dealer was a very common thing. So we probably would end up every week with someone on the table who was in dealing drug. But the difference is that we don't have like these cartels and these organized things. It's like, as you say, people that live in the village, they plant some weed and stuff, they start selling it. They mostly had exported it in Italy because it was the nearest country to us. But at these dimensions, it looks unreal. What's the population of Mexico?
127 million people.
It's huge.
Yes.
And what's the Mexico City that you're from?
So it's 8 million just the city, but with all the suburbs, it's 20 million people.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's why maybe they get along so well, because it's a big country and big cities.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. So probably now the government is useless somehow. They have taken over.
Yeah. And they are part of it. Everyone's part of it. It's crazy, because I worked in the government, in the Ministry of Culture. Ministry of Culture. You never imagine you're gonna see
what harm can you do.
Exactly. And we gave money for cultural infrastructure. So it was a program from the government, and we gave the money. So my job was to select the projects that were going to get money, and I would then follow up and see that they.
I'm curious about the culture projects that cartel can apply for in the government. Like, we're gonna have Christmas tree made of weeds or what?
I wish that was. No, it was like infrastructure. So it was just, for example, municipalities or universities applying to build a theater or whatever. But when it was municipalities in these very conflictive states, because not every state is the same. Like, some of them have more narcos or narco fame than others, and in one of them they applied. So my job was also to follow up, so I had to travel to these places and see that they were actually building the thing, and then like check that the invoices, I had to check everything was square. And one of them, we were like, please send us a picture. So we're gonna go there, and they were like, no, we don't have anything. So then we had to send the case to legal. And then when we did that, they came to us and they were like, look,
withdraw the case.
We don't have the money anymore. This was the government. Bear in mind, like, this was the government authorities. They were like, we don't have the money anymore. We didn't bill anything because it was not for that actually. But you are not going to say anything, because if you come here, you'll probably not get out alive.
Wow.
And we were like, my boss and I were like, okay.
Keep the money.
Thank you.
How much was it?
2 million pesos. I don't know how much that is in euros. Like €500,000 euros. I don't know, maybe.
And that was like years ago.
Yeah, that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah. So now I will avoid asking you why you left Mexico. Now I know why. But you did quite a journey. You didn't immediately come to Europe, right? You went to Argentina?
No, I went to Argentina first. Yeah.
Tell me about it. How can someone... I mean, I understand what happened. I also don't understand what happened after the Second World War, that every Nazi flew to Argentina. I will never understand why Argentina was like a paradise. No one was checking them there, like Panama or what?
I honestly don't know the story of why Argentina and Chile. Like,
by the way,
I don't know it. Yeah.
Argentina has the biggest number of Austrian immigrants in the world.
Really?
Yes. Most of Austrians are immigrants in Argentina.
That's
most of the
funny.
immigrants.
Look, I had to end up here. Like, it was the trail to end up here. Why Argentina? I knew I didn't want to live in Mexico, not only because of the corruption and these kind of things, but mostly because you are used to that. Like, you don't realize how bad it is until you leave and you see things from outside, right? So I just knew I wanted to leave Mexico. I wanted to see how things worked in other parts of the world. I wanted to just explore. And I had already traveled, like, backpack South America before I left Mexico, and I had friends in there as well. And I was like, why not? Yeah. So I left my government job, I sold my car, I left my flat, I sold all my belongings, everything.
Got a few money in the pocket, let's see.
Sorry?
You got a few money in the pocket.
Exactly.
Let's see how it goes.
I saved money, I tried to, I got exactly my savings, and I moved to Argentina.
Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires, yeah. It's a beautiful city.
Yeah?
It's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, it's really nice. They also have a lot of problems.
You figure out later that, this is fucked up. Here is fucked up as well.
Yeah, it was better than Mexico at some point. And then I also backpacked Europe. So I was in Argentina for 4 months. Then I came to Europe for 3 months. I was backpacking. And
hitchhiking as well?
Sorry?
Did you do hitchhiking as well?
No.
Too dangerous over there?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, everyone I asked were like, it's not that dangerous, but I didn't want to risk.
Yeah.
So I just did like.
If they say it's not that dangerous, means that there's some percentage of danger there, so you shouldn't take it.
Yeah. No, I did. I was like, no, I'm gonna stay in the safe side.
How long did you stay in
Europe? In Argentina, 1 year. So I backpacked It was 4 months, then I came 3 months here, and then I went back to Argentina, and I was there for 6 months. But when I went back, it was like a different place completely. Like, economy plummeted, inflation is crazy in there. Like, if you think this inflation is crazy, no, like...
It changes every day there.
You go... Yeah, it changes every day, exactly. You go to buy eggs one day, and they are like 20 pesos, and the next day they are 30 pesos.
That's
and the
also
next day
pesos
40.
in Argentina?
Argentinian pesos. Yeah, different, but pesos as well. Yeah. And you can't live there. At least I don't know how people actually live there. It's crazy. And like, flats are sold in dollars, of course, because the currency is so unstable that you cannot just afford anything. So I had to make a decision, and I have already met my now ex-partner where I was backpacking. And he was like, yeah, come to Austria. And I was like, look, I want to study my master's degree. That was also what I was doing in Argentina. I was already enrolled in one. And but I looked for programs here, and none of the English speaking programs were of my interest, and I didn't speak any German back then, obviously. So I was like, no, I mean, I love you, I want to be with you, but my career comes first, because you may leave, but my career will never leave me.
I need to develop skills.
Yeah, exactly. So that was always my priority. And so I went to Spain because I saw a program there that I really liked. I speak the language, obviously. It's cheap. My cousin lives there already. So I went to Valencia, and I started studying. I studied cultural management. That was my master's degree. I lived there for 1 year, if I'm not wrong. 1 year, 1 year and a half, I don't remember. I think 1 year and a half, I don't remember anymore. And then I did my Erasmus semester in Germany, in Weimar. And then I came here.
That's where you started getting in touch with the German language, I guess.
Yeah, I studied A1 there, and that's it.
And how long have you been here?
2.5 years, almost 3 years. In March it's going to be 3 years, so 2.5.
That's a good time. You did quite a journey.
Yes, I'm not gonna leave this country
That's
anymore.
What I was just
I'm not gonna
ask.
move. I'm tired of moving. I'm so happy having my flat with my things that I can buy, a painting and hang it, and not thinking, oh, but I'm gonna leave. Like, it was 5 years, I think 5 years or 4 years of my life of just living out of a suitcase, and it was very nice. I learned so many things. I don't think objects are, I don't have any connection to objects anymore because I had to release all of that. I met so many people. Did so many things. Now I think about it, and I'm like, wow, why did I make But now I'm here, and I just want to stay here. Yeah.
That's a long time backpacking. Yeah, you probably get tired just packing.
Yes.
You come back from a trip, and if you going on trip next month, you're tired. You don't want to pack again. I imagine that traveling for 3 years, 4 years, moving every year.
Yes.
You see yourself also retiring here, or maybe you will retire in Mexico?
No, I don't want to retire in Mexico. I honestly. Maybe I'm gonna get cancelled in Mexico, but I don't think I want to come back. I think like this year actually, when I went in March, I felt very afar from it. Like, before, all the years I've been there once a year every time since I left, which is almost 6 years already. And I was like, oh, I miss it, the food and my friends and my family and the things and the language, blah blah. I still had like a little bit of spark of being there. Maybe I come back, maybe when I retire. And this time when I went there, I felt nothing. I was like, I want to go back. I want to go to my home. I want my things, my flat, my dog, my friends. Like, I'm losing all connection with it lately. Yeah.
How about your job? What is your position at your job?
So I have...
We're going to talk later about the organization.
Yeah.
Start with the job.
Okay, start with my job.
Start with, what do you pay your rent with?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I work for a company called Global People, and
that's definitely you, Global People.
Yeah. And the headquarters are in Israel, and then we also have offices in Singapore and Germany, and I have co-workers in Italy, Netherlands, Czech Republic, Switzerland, and I'm here in Austria. And we do something called employment of record. So let's say a company in any other country of the world wants to hire you. You live here, but they want your talent and they want to hire you, but they don't want to open an entity here because it's not worth for them. Or they want to explore a new market, so they want to hire 2 or 3 salespeople to explore it. And before that, they don't want to like take the risk of open a whole business in here. We have businesses in a lot of parts of the world, and we hire people for them. We are not recruiters. We don't do
like
that.
Like an intermediary.
Exactly. It's called it's called employment of record or staff listing or payroll company. Like it has different in the UK. It's called umbrella company. We also have one in the UK. So what I do is I do employment and operational stuff in there. We do finance and legal and operational. I only do legal. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm like an expert.
Yeah.
So someone comes and I do all the how do you say Arbeitsverträge, employment agreements, and
so
then
the paperwork.
Yeah, and a lot of reading the law and a lot of investigating and talking to lawyers, and because it sounds like a very routinary work, but it's not.
No, they come from different professions, different businesses, different countries.
Yeah, and also you have they do the clients sometimes or the employees come with some new situation that you were like, how this happened, and then you have to solve it. Like it's mainly, I call it solving problems. So most of my job is just sitting and thinking, how do I solve this? How do I do that? How do I help this? How do I do this without affecting both employer and employee? We also I also in charge that we comply with the law in every country.
Yeah.
So I'm just in charge of Austria, Switzerland, Czech Republic, and the UK. So I'm an expert in those areas, in those markets as well. But yeah, this is what I do, and I really like it.
It sounds like a very creative job. If you say it at first, it doesn't sound creative, but now it sounds creative.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, personalizing a folder for every person that will not be employed but will work for the company client. Your client. Yeah, very interesting.
So we have to do it for both the client and the employee, and then see that everything matches. And yeah, it's very important to actually be like a global person, because then you have this feeling of how to treat your clients from the UK, which is not the same as clients from Sweden or clients from Israel or clients from the US or Australia. Everything has a different way of working, a different way of speaking, a different way of treating people. And when you have lived in all these different countries and you know so many people from so many countries, you realize that some things are just cultural, or you need to treat, like UK people are lovely. They are like super diplomatic, and they are all the time like, hello, you know, like they are super nice. And if you are not that nice to them, they will probably not come to your business. Whereas Swedish or Czech people don't care about this. They are like straightforward, and if you are not straightforward, they don't come to your business. So you have to be sure to treat everyone the way they want to be treated. Yeah.
Well, sounds like a nice place to work.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it.
Then you started you co-founded the organization, right?
Yes.
It's called
Network of International Women in Austria. Yeah.
Which is NIWA line AT. I'm sorry. I forgot the website. lineat.org.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
I'll put this in the description anyway.
Yeah. So we created. I was in a meeting with some people, with some women, and they were talking about how it's very challenging moving here when you don't speak any German. You know, it was my own experience was one of the first things. When I moved here, I moved literally 5 days before the quarantine started.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah.
You really enjoyed Vienna at first.
Yeah, it was a kind of dramatic pace of things. So yeah, it was very hectic. And then I applied I had 2 student visas, one from Germany and one from Spain, but they were about to expire. So we did. I had my ex-partner is Austrian, as I said. So we did a partnership. We did like a party in a Heuriger, and everything was really really cute. And then I applied for the family reunification visa, And it took so long, and it was like, yeah, it's a pandemic, we cannot do anything, and whatever, you know. And it's you feel so powerless in this situation, because I was like, there is a pandemic, what I'm gonna do if my visa expires? And they were like, go back to your country, literally. Like,
that's what they said.
Yeah. Like, I was like, there are no flights. We are in the middle. Which part of middle?
I can go to buy bread. You just tell me go to Mexico.
And they were like, there are repatriation flights. And I was like, oh my God, like, you know how expensive this is, you know, I don't want to do it anyways. I didn't want to go.
I can't waste my life just because of something that we still don't know what's going to be.
Exactly. So it was very frustrating. And I also, as I said, like, I started learning German as soon as I could. And I love languages. So I learned it quite fast, but back then it was my first month in Austria. Of course, I didn't speak any German, and my partner was not very helpful, and he didn't want to call, he didn't want to do anything, and I was so frustrated about it, and I was like, how do I do this, you know? How do I overcome this? Finally, I made it, because I one of the mottos I have in life is that everything has a solution. If there is not a solution, there is an alternative. So I make my way. Like, I don't care. I'm just going to make it. I'm going to be annoying, as I said before. I'm going to be annoying and I don't care. And so I got it after 6 months of waiting, actually, which was quite
also
fast.
The first one?
Yeah. First one was 6 months. Second was 8 months. And now the third time it's 6 months. Yeah.
That's hell. You basically, because you got the first one for a year, so they give it to you after 6 months, you basically have 6 months left.
Yeah. And then you have to apply 3 months before. So you just have 3 months of calmness and peace.
No, during the pandemic was terrible. I remember I also first got here, I came right in the middle of the pandemic. That's when I applied, and they also gave me help. But I fully understand you. And I had a person who took my dossier, and she was actually Albanian, where I'm from. And she didn't, in the immigration office they are allowed to speak the language of the person that is applying to help him. And she, of course, never spoke to me in Albanian, and she specifically even refused to answer to me in English, saying that I never come back in here if you don't intend to speak to me in German. I said, you can see in the papers that I'm applying to learn German. It's my first time, and in the document says that I will start learning German. So how am I supposed to know this? And she was even Albanian, my own language, and she refused to speak that to me.
That's crazy.
But I remember names.
Never forget.
Time will tell. Wow, yeah. So I understand what you mean.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
So you basically, how do they say, if you never read the book that you want to read, you write that book. So that's how you built the organization. So it was this, and then I was talking to people, and everyone had the same, as you say, you also had a similar problem. Everyone had the similar, something. A friend of mine got COVID, and then the insurance didn't want to cover it because she didn't have it was such a mess for everyone. And I was like, why are we not doing anything? Because I was like looking at, of course there are organizations that already do these things, and I admire them so much, like Helping Hands, LEFE, then you have Austria for Beginners, you have Making It in Austria from Adela, which is a friend of mine, and she's amazing. Well, you shouldn't think much of that other people are also doing it. First of all, you find your new form of doing things, your new way, and second, personally, I believe that after fire and the will, there are no more inventions in the world. Everything else is just an adoption and new forms of things.
That's true. So I decided to start something because I had a meeting. I was meeting these people, and they all had a problem, and I was like, and they all felt lonely. You know, they were like, but I'm alone in this. And we were like, okay, we are literally 6 people sitting saying that we're together,
so
saying that we are alone
anymore,
exactly. So we are not alone. So what if we actually make like a structure where we can go there and not feel like we are alone against the world, against the immigration, against whatever is your problem with your integration in the country or whatever. So I was like, okay, let's do something. My ex told me, like, we do associations, like it's one of the most common things to do in Austria. We do Vereine. He has one, football one, for example, and he was like, you just need to do this, that. And I was like, that's a very good idea, actually. And back then, I was working at another company, not where I am right now, and I was not satisfied with it. So I was like, I need to do something in my life that makes me feel like I'm satisfied, I'm doing something. And so I did, like, I selected the number, I created the logo, I did everything, and I was like, I cannot do this by myself. And asking for help is one of my problems that I need to work with. So I was like, I'm going to ask for help. And I had my coworker back then, and she's the other co-founder of the organization. She's called Rebecca. And we just vibed when we met each other. So I told her, like, I think I've met her like 2 months ago or something. And I was like, do you want to create this with me? And she was like, yeah.
Do you want to build a long-time relationship with a complete unknown person?
Yes. And she said yes. So, and it worked. Like, so far we've never had a conflict. We just love each other so much, and it has worked completely fine. And
you officially kicked off in 2021, as I was reading the website, right?
Yeah, it was August 21. So Rebecca and I were working for, I think, a couple of months. We would just gather every Saturday in a cafe or somewhere, and we worked and created it. And then we launched it, and what we do is so you're a member of the organization and you have access to workshops, events. Also, we have a newsletter. We have a lot of partners, so we have discounts or free stuff that you can get from it. And we also provide advisory. So in my case, for example, I'm an employment expert, and also I know a lot about migration. I love reading the law. It's one of the unpopular things I say, that I love reading the law, so I do it, and I provide advisory. Like, of course, I'm not a lawyer, but I can tell you if your employment contract it's under the law or not. This is literally my job, what I do for a living. So I give that kind of advisory also to our members, and we have a workshops on how to do your CV, because of course it's not the same in the UK as in here or in Mexico. How job interviews are conducted in Austria. Nutrition workshops, because the diets are very different in here.
Do you take an expert, for example, let's say the nutrition, because human resources was your thing, but nutrition, you take an expert to conduct the workshop?
Yeah, exactly. It was a nutritionist, actually Mexican as well. It was just a coincidence that she was Mexican. So yeah, we gather, we have partnerships with these experts. Like, the next workshop we have is how to start your own project, which is a friend of mine, Kerstin. She's going to do it, and she's a project manager, has her own projects, has published in books and everything, so she's going to do the workshop.
When is it?
How to start your own project.
When?
In November 19th.
November 19th. Okay, yeah. I'll write in the description something.
Yeah.
You want to tell us something about it?
It's
like at what point does it start to give information? So let's say that people with an idea but don't know what to do with it can come, or also people to brainstorm how to have an idea and how to find.
It's mostly people with an idea already. So if you have an idea and you don't know how to execute it, how to start, then you can come to it can be a blog, it can be a brand, it can be just an idea that you want to execute, but you don't know, you're kind of lost, and you come to the workshop, and a project manager is going to show you how to do it. So I think it's really interesting.
From the business plan up to financing it?
No, it's just like project, like how to build the project, not how to get financing and this kind of stuff. Like, it's just
how to structure it, what do you need for it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So this is one. We also have had investment workshops with also an investment expert. So we have had yoga classes, picnics, also to build friendships and build relationships in general, networking. We're going to have a huge networking event in March. So yeah, we are working. We learn as we do, but I think it's been pretty well. Like, people are pretty satisfied with the information we provide, with the partnerships we have, and they have also made relationships, like either networking or friendships, through our events. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, sounds very established, for at least for being just a 1 year organization.
Yeah.
You sound like you got your shit together with this thing.
Yeah, we try. We also have 7 volunteers, which help us so much and are lovely, lovely women. So determined and so smart and so structured, and they are very young. Like they were born 2000, which blows my mind. Yeah,
because 2000 to us seems like yesterday or like last year or something.
Yeah, it blows my mind. And
now when you say
amazing.
2002, at first you think it's like 3 years ago, but it's actually 20 years ago.
Yeah, you think like, oh yeah, she was born 2002. She must be like 10 years old. No,
she's 20.
She's an adult.
She can drink and she can drive and she can have accidents with her car.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But they are amazing, so they also help us a lot to build the organization and looking for sponsorships and partnerships and do the social media. We have a TikTok which is very popular.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, in which we steer the pot. So sometimes just to get like engagement, we say that goulash is Austrian and people go crazy. Yeah.
But what is it actually?
I don't know.
Hungarian
apparently. I don't know. I'm not gonna get cancelled here. Maybe we get cancelled in the TikTok, but we do it on purpose as well.
But I don't think it's that exact where the goulash comes from. It's mostly this area, Hungary.
It was an empire a long time ago.
Yeah, so it was all together. You can't really define with the border.
Yeah, people have very strong opinions about it on TikTok. Yeah, they are very, very opinionated about the origins of goulash.
Well, that sounds like David. I should open a TikTok account to follow it.
Yeah, TikTok it's the way right now, honestly. Like we have had so many people coming to us from TikTok. And also Instagram. We are mainly Instagram and TikTok, sometimes LinkedIn and Facebook, but these are not like our main platforms. But volunteers also help us running this. I also and Rebecca, we also make reels, TikToks, post everything, but the volunteers do most of the work in that regard. And what Rebecca and I do, it's we create the programs, like what we're gonna do, like the workshops and the events. But we also hear like anyone that has an idea can come here and we foster it. So Kerstin, the lady that is doing the Start Your Own Project workshop, we met at a networking event. We've become friends, and then she was like, hey, I want to do a workshop. This is my idea. Can I do it with you? And we were like, of course. Yeah. And we got the place, which is Amelie House, very nice place in the 7th district. We do all the advertising, we do all the social media, we send a newsletter to the members, and we tell everyone to come. So this is what we offer, and then she offers the workshop. Of course she does for free because we don't have any profit, literally. Yeah. So yeah, and she can make her workshop.
Was it hard to create it's called an organization or an association, or is it the same thing?
It's an association, I think. Like the legal term, it's association, but organizations can be different types of legal things, right? So
is it considered a non-profit organization?
It's in German it's like a gemeinnütziger Verein, which is like an association that it's useful for the community. Okay. Literally translated. Okay. But it's also a non-profit because we don't have any. Yeah. And it's also a non-governmental organization. So it's all of those things actually.
Was it hard to create it here, or just a few steps?
No, it was not hard. We had to write the statutes. I don't know. In which
you have to be at least 2 people, right?
You have to be at least 2 people, exactly, and basically that, and then you apply at the police and you pay like 20 euros, 30 euros, nothing, and then they send you like a certificate that you are now an organization. Yeah, and that's it. Basically.
That's good. Sounds good.
Yeah, of course they check that the statute don't say crazy stuff and that are under the law and blah blah blah.
Like we cut heads every morning. This shouldn't be included.
That you don't gather to do strange things. But yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. and it's worth it to do. It's a lot of work. It's not complicated, but it's a lot. But it's worth it because we also, for example, since we are an NGO, we get Canva for free. We get Google, like our emails at Niva, etc. are for free. We don't pay. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's very helpful because these are the things, at first at least, that make you pay out of your pocket. But if you get that for free?
Yeah, some things we did have to pay, like the website we have to pay, the domain, our business cards.
But I guess you got some little support to kick off, to start with this? To
start, we didn't get any.
No?
We personally didn't get any. I suppose you can, but we didn't do it. Also because it was not a lot of money. I don't know, it was maybe 100 euros, something like that.
Yeah.
So we did, and I built the website myself.
Squarespace?
Yeah,
WordPress?
No, WordPress.
Oh.
WordPress.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
I like this color tone, which is not pink, like a hard pink, but it's soft and sweet.
Yeah. So I did it all by myself, which saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it also takes me. It's not my money, but it's my time. Like I normally work, 12 hours a day because I work 8 hours for my job, sometimes more. And then I work for Niva, and then I do other stuff, so...
Now I understand why you go in clubs until 4 a.m. You have to go out that late because you work 12 hours a day, so you definitely have to do something to go out, to go in a club,
Exactly. I need to let the steam off somewhere. So, that's true.
But I remember, and actually that's the reason why we're here, I remember that you don't like the term integration.
I know, and I said it, right?
Yeah, you said it. You said that you don't like people to say integration for immigrants who come here.
Yeah.
Why? Here, go ahead. Tell me about it.
The thing is, I think integration is a term that if you look up in the dictionary or in Google, it seems very nice, it's like, you bring your own culture and we have our own culture here and we mix it together and we are happy, But in reality, I don't think it is like this. Like it happens with a lot of terms, like for some people communism seems amazing but in reality maybe it's shit, capitalism the same. So integration is one of these terms that in reality it's maybe different. So what I think is, you come here, you do have to do things to be part of the community, like speaking German, for example. For me, it's a thing that is important. I'm not saying that you need to come speaking German at all, because that's impossible. Then there are also people that I love languages and I have a talent for languages, but I don't have a talent for math. Other people don't have a talent for languages, so it's very difficult for them. Like I imagine my mom would never learn German, like ever. So imagine my mom here. That would be funny. Or you come here and you need to immediately start working and you don't have the time to do it, or you don't have the resources, or there are so many possibilities to not that. Maybe you don't speak German,
Okay.
So those are the possibilities. But I do think it's necessary that at least so if you've lived here for 10 years and you don't know the basics, you need to at least absorb something, how you didn't, and these things for me are I do think you need to do if you move to another country. And I also think it the other way around. If someone goes to Mexico and doesn't speak Spanish, would I like it? I don't think so.
Would you hire him?
Would you hire him?
No, most probably.
Exactly. Or would you, if you call the internet provider in English, are they going to be able to answer to you? Not, I don't think so. It's different dynamic, but still, I believe.
So why do you expect these things in Vienna? And you understand them in Mexico, understand them in Albania.
Yeah.
But why do you expect them differently?
I personally don't expect them. As I said, I think you need to speak German. You need it to survive.
After some time,
Exactly. Exactly. And also taking in consideration what's your specific case. Because as I said, if you come here and you're just working the whole time in an English-speaking company, or you work 12 hours like me, and then you just don't wanna, the last thing you want to do is go to a German
You literally
class.
can't.
Exactly.
You don't have the time.
Or you don't have enough money because German courses are not that cheap, or whatever reason you have.
I think this money thing is solved here because they have this refund thing for the courses.
Yeah, there are a lot of, like, for example, you come here and you work as a cleaning person, and then you have 3 children, and you come home. You don't want to also the last thing you want to do is open a book and study German. So there are specific conditions that need to be taken into account. Those things I agree that you should do, but I also think, like, if you come here and they tell you, like, what I think European countries do is, like, they want to take all the good parts of a culture that it's invited or it's coming or whatever to these countries. Like, for example, I don't think we should, like, hijabs should be banned, for example. I don't think so.
You mean the complete face of the cover of the face, or the head?
I think that's like just the head, like just like headscarf.
That's not illegal in Austria,
No,
right?
it's not.
Okay.
It's not. But a lot of people think that integration is this. So, okay, I'm completely okay with saying, bring your culture, but our cultures are very complex, and then European countries just make their, get away from the bad parts of it, bad parts in quote, bad quote.
On the way they think.
Yeah, exactly. While we have to adapt to everything in here, like the good things, the bad parts, everything. So I'm like, okay, and I take my mom as an example again. In Mexico, we don't have a lot of immigration. We don't have, like, in here, I think 25% of population in Vienna is an immigrant that has migration background.
47%.
Wow, yeah.
This is just recent because I was studying
47.
it yesterday.
Exactly. So it's a lot. In Mexico, whole Mexico, I don't know Mexico City, and recently there's a lot of more migrants. Since the pandemic, there are more. But 5 years ago, only 1% of the population was migrant. Only 1%, at least registered. But what we have is a lot of Central Americans crossing Mexico to go to the USA, right? And my mom, we had, like, a huge issue with that, which, again, it's not a migration issue, it's an issue on how to administer migration, so to say. And my mom was like, I don't like these people. They are on drugs all the time. They throw trash in the streets. They are homeless, blah, blah. And I was like, first, where are they going to live? Where, they are coming in a very bad situation. And second, Mexicans also do that. Yeah. So why are you not complaining of that before, when Mexicans were doing it, and now you're complaining about Central Americans? This is what this is the part that I don't like about this. Like, it's trying to force you.
You mean that when a foreigner is doing that, then suddenly it gets your attention, but exactly. If a local is doing that, then
it's okay. And it's so random because no one asked me if I wanted to be born in Mexico, you're just born there. So
I think that
it's crazy.
I understand, but the thing is that it kind of makes some sense in Austria when you see some things, because here in Austria, really a local wouldn't do a lot of things that immigrants and foreigners are doing.
Like what?
And there are things that I won't be sorry to say, as an immigrant myself. One thing that I hate is video calling in loudspeaker in the metro. I've never seen an Austrian doing that. I've seen millions of immigrants doing that. And I don't want to mention countries, not to be racist, but I'm just saying immigrants. You notice that too, probably. So that's what I would call an integration, that when you're in public space, closed public area, like the metros, you don't speak in loudspeaker because you're bothering other people.
Yeah.
And most probably you're not wearing a mask, even though that's the rule. But that's another thing, and it's temporary, I guess. But this is one thing that I would call integration. You're in a public space and you behave accordingly, to not bother other people. So to me, the basic rule of integration here, it's just do things that don't bother me. You want to wear a hijab, it's fine, because you're not bothering me. But you can't talk in loudspeaker, video calling in the metro right next to me, where this is a public space.
Yeah, that's completely true. I think that's a matter of respect, completely. Completely. But I have seen, for example, a lot of Austrians super drunk with a can of beer being extremely loud in the tram. For example.
Never happened to me. I mean, I've seen it a couple of times, not very often.
Yeah, maybe I'm more aware. I don't know, because I'm always aware. First, because I'm Mexican and I have this trauma, and second, because I'm a woman, so I'm all the time aware.
And third,
of
because you go out at night.
Yes.
Weekends, yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen it in the mornings. Like I live in Handelsgate.
Oh yeah, Uzex.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's the thing. I think it's a matter of respect. I don't like. Yeah, and that's what you said. It's true. Like it's not when a migrant does it, then suddenly annoys you. But when a local does it, then it's okay. This is what I don't like. And the other day, I was with my friends, and I remember this like so clearly because it was late at night. And we were at their flat, and we were just chilling and playing music. But it was like 1 a.m. A song started playing, and we really liked it, and we were singing and not thinking about anything. And then the neighbor came, and he knocked the door, and he was like, "Hey, can you please shut up?" And my friends, in this case, all of them, I do have Austrian friends, but in this case, all of them were international, and they were like, "Oh, I don't care," blah, blah. And I was like, "No, please, lower the music, girls, let's do this."
That's what I'm calling integration.
And my friend told me, "You're a very good migrant," and I said, "No, I'm a very good person."
Yeah.
This is my thing. I mean, it's not good, bad migrant. It's good, bad person. It's not good,
Most probably, if you were in Mexico, first of all, no one would have knocked in your door, maybe.
They would.
They would?
Depends. It depends. It depends on your neighbors. Also, because my neighbors where I live, because this was in the flat of my friend, where I live, my neighbors are lovely, and they also do parties, and I don't like. We have this kind of understanding with each other. Because I also have a dog, and she barks a lot because she's like a small jerky. So she barks a lot. And I went out and I told them like, "I'm so sorry that I'm really sorry. I cannot control it. I tried to train her, blah blah." And they were like, "Yeah, we have cats. They meow a lot." I don't know how to say them, meow a lot. It's okay. We understand. Like we have this understanding with each other. Like we're gonna make parties. We're gonna make dinners. We're gonna talk Friday, Saturday night. We're not gonna do it Monday night because we all work. Okay, like this is the understanding. My friends, their neighbor, it's not like this. He was like, "No way." So it's the same in Mexico. Like some neighbors are more understanding or have the same. I don't want to say understanding because I also understand the people that don't want to party on Fridays. So it's just they have the same mindset, the same,
If they don't want to accept it or don't want to understand it, these noise, these parties, it's their right, and that's the borderline that they cross. So you can't cross that they draw. So you can't cross that line anymore. Then it's up to you to stop it. It can't make him understand anymore, make him change his mind. So it happened to me when I was living in another building. Like 95% of the people living in the building were immigrants, and mostly Eastern Europeans. And in 1 year and 3 months that I lived there, I called the police at least every month because they were partying. And I don't understand that. How can you keep doing it? The police is knocking on your door every other Saturday and you still do it the next Saturday. So this is what I call that you're not respecting. And here where I live, most of the people who live in the building are Austrians, and I never had that problem. So this is why I'm saying that it might happen that Austrians can do sort of things. But most probably people who do those things are immigrants because they are not accepting to be integrated. They want to get the nice jobs here, nice work rules and everything, and work rights. But they still want to keep their things and not respecting the neighbor and other things. They still want to keep them. So you either do as things are done here, or you can't try and just get the good things from the country and then mix it with the things that you're doing to ruin other people's lives. Yeah, I think it for me personally, it's a matter of being. I know it's cultural, and your culture is very strong in you, of course. As I said, I have this trauma because I'm Mexican. Well, I'm already outside of it, so it's very strong in you. But for me, I would like to frame it more as a matter of being a respectful person or an irrespectful person. So you're saying that it's more individual than original? I
try to frame it like this because I think it develops a stigma for all of the immigrants, and that's something I don't like. I'm Mexican, which is a very controversial country, right? And I come and I really don't like people assuming I am certain person because of that, you know. So I try to frame it more like it's your own decision. Yes, your culture has a lot of weight on how you are and what you do, but I try to frame it the other way. It's the same with very, like, I don't know, saying all vegans are whatever, blah blah, or all feminists are blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you don't like stereotypes, I understand.
Yeah.
But I also understand those people who think that every Albanian is the same, every Mexican is the same, because that's the image we gave to them. And now it's up to me, when I know a new person, like I got to know you, that you're not the image of a typical Mexican. So, and that's what should interest you, just the people who's in front of you, to stop believing that you're the typical Mexican that we know. So why I understand that they frame us, but that's the way it is. Why shouldn't we accept this?
Because I don't think it's my responsibility to show that I'm a different Mexican, because I also don't...
If you want to change his mind, if you don't, you can just let him go or her go.
I am myself. My policy, personal policy is I am myself. What you think about me, it's your problem. This applies for my nationality, my gender, my ideas, my everything. The thing is that I do try to understand. I always say that hate, it's ignorance plus fear.
Yeah.
For example, as I mentioned, I lived in Handelsgate, and most of the people that live in the 20th district, at least in the area that I live, are from migration background as well. There are a lot of Latinos, my neighbors, Colombian, Peruvian, whatever, a lot of Turkish, a lot of Arab, I know this is not a nationality, but Muslim people, and a lot of Balkans. So I hear, like, I learned to say dobra, I learned to say salam alaikum, like all of these things I've just caught from there, which I love. There is a part that I don't love, which is I get harassed in the street a lot. You know, I get harassed in the street a lot, and it's a fact that most of people that have harassed me in the street are not Austrian or not Western. Right, and this is a fact. And
well, let's say Austrians, since now we're talking about integration in Austria.
Yeah, let's say Austrians. And I completely dislike it. I know they come from countries or cultures that don't respect women, especially in public spaces. Mexico is one of them.
Yeah.
But I have fear in this part of it. I have fear. I fear this man. I'm honest. I fear. But I know it's not all Turkish people. I know it's not all Arab people. I know, so I don't have this ignorance part of this. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, because I'm ignorant about so many things. You know, it's just a concept. I try to rationalize. Okay, these people come from this background, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean they can't stay like this, that they can keep harassing me just because they come from a culture.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hate the whole thing, or I'm not going to be against all of it, or I'm not going to be non-understanding of it just because this person are harassing me, and then go and say, immigrants, Turkish people, you know, this is what I don't like. And the thing is, like, if we say, migrants need to do this and migrants need to do that, then we frame all of it, and it really affects all of us. So I really try to frame it in another way, so we all not get affected by the actions of certain people.
Well, so now you agree that those people in your neighborhood should be integrated and behave like, because here we see that people here in Austria, not only Austrians, people here in Austria don't harass anyone, not just women on the street. So that's what they should do. They should stop doing this. So, because that's how things are done in this country. So they should integrate themselves in this country. This country is made by Austrians, but also other immigrants who behave properly. So it's not just when I say that they should be integrated, it's not just to be integrated into Austrian terms, but in normal society terms, which here in Austria are very well respected. Yeah,
they should be respectful. That's what I think.
So this is just only one side, just the human behavior respecter, so one human to another. But what else I call that they should be integrated about, it's, for example, I got to know people who are living in social welfare here, who are I think they came as refugees. then they proudly and laughing would expose to me that they were also working illegally on the side. So they were taking cash money and working illegally, and also getting financial support from the government. First of all, you don't tell me that, because you don't know me, I'm not your family, you don't have to tell me. And second, how would I feel that you tell me that you're basically stealing from my money, my taxes? This is what I call to be integrated, that an integrated person, an Austrian, doesn't do that to steal from the government in two ways, from social welfare and also not paying taxes from another job. How do you feel about this? Because you're saying that why should the government constrict these people to be integrated?
Yeah, I think Austrians also do things like that. Another thing,
I don't know how often it is among Austrians as often it is among immigrants.
Yeah, I think it comes from, maybe it's less, but yeah, I do think it comes from both sides, and I don't know, honestly. Like I don't have the answers for everything, and there are things that I do think people should stop doing. The only thing I don't like is framing it as all migrants do it, or migrants do it, and it's like. No,
but if someone is doing it, most probably is a migrant.
I don't know.
Most probably.
I don't know. I also have I don't mind. And honestly, if someone is getting money from unemployment and they are also working sideways, I personally don't mind. Like, you boo.
Why you're giving 40% of your salary to him?
No, well, maybe I'm gonna be in that position at some point.
I don't know. This. Also, I think that should be a limit of the social welfares at some point. Maybe after some years you get part of it, because if it was me or other people who do just like, you come to this country and I give you 2 years to, let's call it, to integrate, so which means to learn the language, learn a skill, which both I will offer you for free. Let's say you don't know how to do anything because you're coming from a country where you didn't have a chance to learn something, so I give you 2 years to learn the language enough to work, and I give you, within 2 years, I offer you free courses to learn whatever you want to learn to do. So after 2 years, then you should know the language, you should have a skill, and you should start working. I can give you maybe another year of financial support, half price, not all of it, so you can start working part-time and cover yourself, but not forever, not during your whole lifetime.
There are some limitations. For example, if you want to apply for citizenship and you have received IMS money in the past 2 years, you cannot apply for it, for example.
Well, let's say they don't care about citizenship. They just want to get money and work on the side. And
also, I think it sounds like they are getting this money and blah, blah, blah. But also applying for asylum, it's not easy at all.
That's what I'm saying. It's fine that they get asylum as soon as they come here, because they come from all sorts of situations. They can't just start working immediately because of the language, because of the traumas, and because of all sorts of things. That's what I'm saying. But after some time, you have to do something about it. You can't just rely on the government.
That's the thing, because I would completely agree with you if the system in Austria worked perfectly as well, but it doesn't, and we talked about it. Our visas have took so much time, so that's the part of integration that
now
doesn't work.
Now I'm blaming the government, because they are allowing these things to happen.
Exactly, that's the part of integration that doesn't work. You come here, you are supposed to be integrated, but we are not giving you the actual tools to do it. Some of them may, but at the end, at least in Vienna, where everything takes so long, as we said, I'm supposed to travel, and I can't, and I have a job, and I speak German, and I'm educated, and everything.
But it's taking 6 months for
a residence permit. It's taking 6 months. So how do you expect me? So I'm integrated. I always say this, and I don't say it as I just say it as a very ironic thing to do. I'm the perfect example of a good migrant. I speak German. I'm college educated. I speak other languages as well. I have a very good job with a high salary. I also made a freaking association to help people integrate. I am always on time. I'm not loud. I never listen music. All of
you
whatever
don't video call in loudspeaker in the metro.
I will never video call without headphones, at least, and all of these things. And still, I have so many problems because of my visa. And this time I'm supposed to travel for work, and thank to the business immigration office got my visa. But if I haven't, I would have gotten in a little bit of trouble at work, maybe, like, because it's like annoying for your employer when you cannot do the things correctly. So if the government is doing the things to do it correctly, then I completely agree, but they are not. So they are expecting me to act perfectly, but they are not doing it. This is the part that I don't like as well.
Yeah, it's true, but on our side we have to do what we have to do, so we have to be good citizens, let's say, and then let them be the bad guys. So we can't punish them by turning the music loud just because our visa, because the person we are affecting with the loud music, it's not the person that is delaying your visa.
I agree completely in that, and this is why I created the organization.
Yeah, that's good. And also, this is just the way it is. It's like you have a dog, I have a dog.
Yeah.
We go to a supermarket, there's a sign that says dogs are not allowed inside. So what do? You go inside and change the supermarket rules? No, you just go to another supermarket if you want to take the dog inside. That's the same thing with the country. It's just the way it is. So we either like it and stay, or we go to another one and find a better one. So far, you can't find a better one than Vienna.
Me personally, no.
Statistically.
Me personally, no, but I love living here.
Yeah.
It fits my personality, it fits my needs. I think I contribute.
Yeah.
Vienna contributes to me. It's like a symbiotic relationship where we are happy. Vienna and I are happy. Not everyone has the same situation. I lived in Valencia. I didn't like it. My cousin lives there. She loves it. So everyone has different situations. But I think personally that as a society we cannot allow a whole country, for example, to be racist. Like, we cannot just say, oh, this country is racist, well, yalla. I don't think so. I think we should be critical for the place where we live. I was critical when I lived in Mexico. I love so many things from there, and I don't dislike things, and I was like, I'm not going to agree with this. Same here, same in Argentina. In Spain, I was not very involved politically because I didn't like it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have the strength to do it. I was studying whatever. But in here, I feel like if I don't like something, and this is something I disagree with a lot of people, because I have friends that also think like, okay, it is what it is and you have to accept it. I don't think this. As I said, I think there is always a solution, and if there's not, it's an alternative. So I'm not going to let the government of the place I live and I want to live and I want to contribute and I want to make grow to mistreat me. I'm not going to accept it.
Maybe, yeah. Makes sense for individual for specific situations. It makes sense. For example, in your resident permit delay, or you can do something about it. But the mentality, which you were saying regarding racist things, that's something that takes a lot more time
for sure
to change. And then second, it depends on who are we to change it.
I think you're completely true that it takes a long time. But if we never start doing it, then it will never change. So we need to start somewhere. Have
you ever been affected by racism here in Austria?
No, me personally, no. But I'm white passing, so like people tell me, you don't look Mexican, like all the time. So I have this privilege because I have friends with darker skin tones that have been mistreated a lot. I have never personally had a problem with racism in here, but I know it's because of the way I look and also the way I present myself. Like, my father told me this, and I was looking for a job for a flat and everyone, I'm not joking, everyone told me, and this is why also another motto of my life is don't compare yourself to anyone, because it's just going to bring you anxiety. They were like, oh, you're going to try to find a flat in Vienna with a dog, being an immigrant, good luck. I found it in 2 days.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I told my father, and he was like, yeah, because you come and the way you present yourself, which is also a privilege I have, because I have the privilege of wearing this watch, I have the privilege, of doing these things, and I have the privilege of being educated by my father, who has a lot of, he puts a lot of effort in his image and his public image. He was part of a union in Mexico, so he knows how to handle diplomacy. He taught me these things, and I do it as well. So I come to a place and I know how to present myself. I know how to say hello, introduce, blah, 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 talk the things, and I say, yeah, my job is this. I know what to, with each information, to transfer to this person, so this person likes me. So yeah, I know this is also part of the reasons I haven't had any racist, but it shouldn't be like that, like it should be like, okay, maybe you dress differently, maybe you don't wear all this fancy stuff, you still need to be respected.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I remember once, not here in Austria, in another country, I go to a shop one day, and it was a nice shop of clothes, like jacket, ties, blazers, suits, and actually I was looking for a hat, but I don't know where I was, which is something, and I wasn't wearing the style that the shop was offering, so which is actually rare. I don't usually dress myself like that, but it happened.
Yeah.
And I think it was close to where I live. I was just doing something quick. So I go inside, and the seller was in the second floor and doesn't even come up downstairs, and just talks to me from up there and says, yeah, what do you need, or something like this. And I left the shop. I said, all right, I'm just taking a look, I don't need anything. And I realized why she did that.
Yeah.
And then I come back 2 days later, I was dressed how I usually dress, and she came downstairs and she talked to me in a completely different manner.
Yeah.
It's very funny how people behave differently because of the way they see you dressed. But as long as it's the way it is, let's make the best out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I do it, but I do it because I like it. I like dressing like this. I like I like taking care of my appearance. I like, these kind of things. But some people don't like it, and I think that it shouldn't be their responsibility to change, to adapt to cater these people that are discriminated. It should be the responsibility of the seller to realize that what she's doing is not correct. This is where their responsibility has to be put in this side, not in this side.
It's true. It's true. Going back to your organization, association, what are some already results or effects that you have witnessed so far? For example, a concrete case that you were very helpful to.
I wouldn't say there are concrete cases, but I would say that the general Stimmung of the situation, I'm very happy about it. But because I think it really, like, being part of these events and coming to the workshops and meeting us and everything, I think it makes the women and the members happier. So this is, for me, this is my goal in general. Like, I love seeing other people happy. Like, my happiness is seeing other people happy, and they are happier. Like, I see how we have a workshop about job interview, and then they realize something they've never realized before about job interviews, and they're like, oh, totally makes sense now. Or we tell them, you actually can get access to free German courses, and they're like, what? And they light, their face lightens. Or they meet other girls in the picnics or in the hikes, and this is, for me, the goal, and inspiring also. Again, I want to be as humble as possible, but a lot of people have told me, like, just being around you inspires me to do things, and this is my goal. We don't have like a super specific concrete case, but I do think, like, the general situation, being surrounded by people that are inspiring and that can guide you and that can give you like a light in dunkel, it's like it's what we have.
How they say, aspire to inspire, so that's like a goal.
I mean, I didn't realize I was inspired people, and then I realized, and I was like, okay, I need to be stronger. Sometimes I'm really tired, and
do you have a creative space, small office, or something where women already come and get along and discuss things, or you're going to get one soon?
We don't have a space. I don't know if we're going to get one soon, to be honest. But we do have some partnerships. So we go a lot to Amelie House because they have...
What's the Amelie House?
Amelie House, I'm pretty sure, maybe you know, it's a restaurant, like a very nice restaurant downstairs with a terrace. Like it's like a Innenhof. And then upstairs they have like a lot of different rooms, classrooms, or and it's like a project.
Where is it?
In the 7th district. I don't know the street right now, but it's very close to Maria Hilferstrasse and to the Gelateria La Romana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know the gelateria.
Yeah. It's very close to it. So, and they offer these spaces for a very low cost, and we do events there, or we go like this summer we went hiking, and they also met there. So we don't have a specific space. I honestly don't know if we're gonna get it soon because that's a lot of work, and I don't think
money
it's
also.
Yeah, and money, and I don't think it's in my capacity right now. Yeah, but right now what I'm working it's like building myself as a brand, so to say, and I want to give more speeches and conferences and write more as well.
I often see that feminism, more than trying to achieve gender equality, often looks like it's trying to make women overcome and overrule rather than being equal. Can you explain that? For example, because this asking 50% of the employees should be female or something, I understand, because it's 50% and it's equality, I understand, even though it has some arguments there why it might not always be like that. So you can't restrict people or companies to do that just to stay accordingly to the number 50%. I might have some position in the company that could be more manly position because I direct a construction site. So you think that it still should contain the 50% in some cases? I personally, or my feminism, or the way I see feminism, it's not overcoming men at all.
Like in my personal view, there are women that do think this way, and I disagree with them. There are women that think other things, and I also disagree with them. And I think the 50-50 quota, or any kind of quota, it's like a band-aid for the problem. Like it's not actually solving the problem. It's like covering it with a plaster.
Exactly.
But the thing is, and this is the thing is, this is why I don't accept things the way they are, because the government is telling me, but we are already solving your problem, girl, it's 50-50, what else do you want? I'm not going to accept that. I want to go to the root of the problem. What is the root of the problem? Exactly. For example, that women mostly don't have a lot of access to first education, maybe not in this country, but in general in the world. Women are less educated. There are more women that cannot read or write than men. And second, also, for example, myself, I don't want to have children. And I don't want to have children because my professional career is my priority. But it should be, and I know I'm talking in a very ideal way, but as you have already realized, maybe I am an idealist. It should be that you can get pregnant and have a child and still be able to develop your professional career. And right now, this is not the situation. Yeah,
I saw that you wrote about in the website about the father carence as well. That should be the father leave, the father parental leave. That should be equally to the female ones, you said, right?
Yeah.
So the females, the women can have more rights to their career, but because they take a longer mother parental leave, they skip their career.
Yeah, it's great. And I also think it's crazy that
we would like that.
Yes, exactly. This is the thing. And for example, the Papa Monat, when you're a father and your child is born, you can take 1 month off, but it's not paid. It's not paid by your company. You can apply to get some money from the government, which is, I think, like 700 euros. So let's say you earn 3,000 euros a month. You take the Papa Monat, and instead of earning 3,000, you're earning 700. That's a lot of money, first of all. And second, it should be paid. It should be longer. Like, why are fathers not allowed to also enjoy their children? And this is and in my opinion, this is coming from an understanding that women are the only ones supposed. Now, women need to breastfeed. Only women can do that.
Yeah.
There is no other way. Only women can give birth. Only women can get pregnant.
But also dads can change the pampers.
Exactly. That's the thing. And
can walk with their kids.
Yeah. And I think culturally, Austria is way more developed in that sense than Mexico, of course, but still we have a long way to go. So if we are not providing the conditions, it's coming back to okay, you're asking me to do everything, but you're not giving me the conditions. If we are not providing women the conditions to succeed in their professional careers, then how can we expect more women to be in the companies?
Right.
So it goes deeper and deeper.
So that's what I like in the description of your organization, because it's different from, because I see a lot of organizations that just put women and we want it all, we want it now. But yours is very realistic. I saw this about the father carence thing. I thought this makes sense. This is actually something solving it from the root.
Yeah.
So you can really give women some more time to develop themselves, to develop their career.
Yeah.
Because of course, if the father keeps working during the whole year that mother is at home, he will be 1 year ahead at least in his career.
Exactly.
And chances are he will get up there much faster than.
Exactly. Or me, as a woman that doesn't want to have children, I see it with my coworkers. Like, this is funny because we are mostly women, but it was not on purpose. It was literally the people that were more fitted for the company. But some of them have children, and of course they clock out when they have to clock out because they have to go take care of their children, or they have to go pick them up or whatever. Well, I can stay more time because I don't have this responsibility. So I am escalating faster than them, which is not fair because they are as capable as I am.
Yeah.
But they have children.
On the other hand, there's a lot of, when it comes to employment, in job interviews I've been overcome by women most of the times, just because women are prettier and are more presentable. At least that's what employers think in front of men. So I think there's also a lot of advantage for women in employment.
But isn't this, I think about it.
Take a front desk position. If I apply for a front desk position, 5 other ladies, what are the chances that I'll be even considered for an interview?
Isn't that awful that you're just treated better because of the way you look? I don't like it. I mean,
who cares?
The
a lady will get the job at the end, not me.
Well, that's not fair.
Why? She should maybe she's also skilled. We are both equally skilled, but she's a lady and she's more beautiful. She's prettier than me, and she's getting it because it's a front desk job.
Then
it's a
reception.
Boss is an asshole. What's that?
Then the boss is an asshole.
This happens happens a lot of times, so it's not a legend.
Yeah, then
if
the boss is not doing it correctly.
If there's a man and a girl that are equally skilled for a presentable position, for a public relation position, most probably they will get the lady.
That's not fair.
But you have a disadvantage, which on the other hand you're asking for advantages and equality in job position.
I rather get rid of this advantage quote and not get harassed in the street. Honestly, I don't think like there are gonna. This is my personal view, you know. Like there are gonna be women that tell you, yeah, I don't care, you know. Like I'm gonna use it and I don't care, and it's okay. It's their right to do it. Whatever. My personal view, I rather not have this advantage of saying it's not even an advantage because you are just seen as an object. Why would you like being seen as an object? Like
I'm saying that in these cases they are also skilled, but they only win because
they are also skilled, but they are getting the job because they are seen as an ornament in the front desk, which is being an object. My ex-boyfriend,
but she's paying the rent meanwhile, and I'm not.
You're getting all the jobs probably. That's the thing, and you're
what I said it's not doesn't mean just concretely, but maybe something else that, for example, chances are that if there comes a leading position, that beautiful girl in front desk will keep staying in front desk because she was hired because she's pretty, and she won't get higher positions in the company.
Exactly. So I don't personally see it as an advantage. I see it as being treated as
like
an object.
Quick solution and that's it.
Yeah, it's a band-aid. In Mexico, and I don't know if I told you this the other day we met, like in Mexico, it's also a Band-Aid solution. The subway. We get so harassed in the subway that they had to create a part of the train, it's just for women.
Seriously?
Yes. Because otherwise we get extremely harassed, touched, masturbation, whatever you can imagine.
And who checks those carriages? Maybe even men go inside there.
No, there is like a barrier, and there is a police person saying that there is only women.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is next level.
Do I think this is a good solution? No.
The solution is to educate those men.
Exactly.
It's not to put the women in cages.
Exactly. So this is, for me, I call them Band-Aid solutions, because it's just like, yeah, they're there. Everything's gonna be okay. Don't worry, I already solved it. No, you didn't. The wound is still there. So yeah, it's a Band-Aid solution.
Yeah. Also, is it true that the salaries here are for real different among men and women? Or they just go by skills and experience? Because I don't think they are different only if you're a lady and if you're a man.
I have noticed, so I think the gender pay gap, it's bigger than just salaries. It's also how much money you earn in your whole career, because you lost a lot of money for doing unpaid labor, like taking care of children.
So you kind of spread the whole income? Or
Exactly. This is one of the main things. Like, it's not just about the salary that I earn right now in the same position as my coworker that it's a male. It's that also, like, I don't have, as we talk, like, we don't have like these development career possibilities that are as broad as for men because of, again, unpaid labor, children, taking care of the home. We normally, in most relationships, at least in my experience and the experience of my friends, we are the managers of the home. We are not only managers at our job, if we are, we are also managers at home. Like, we are expected to, call this, go to the supermarket, do this, do that. Like, everything has to be perfect, and we are expected to do that job, and it's a very hard job. Like, it's not easy. So now I live by myself, and I don't have to deal with that. But when I lived with a partner before, I was expected to be a manager at my job and then come home and be a manager as well. And he was like, yeah, and you didn't do that. Yeah, but you didn't tell me to do it. Why do I have to tell you to do it? And this is the labor relationship that I see in most of heterosexual couples. And this is a lot of work that it's not paid. And then it makes you go lower and lower than your male peer. And then in general, first, you don't earn as much money. Second, you don't save as much money. This is why we also give investment workshops. And third, when you retire, your pension is way lower because you work less and you earn less.
I'm afraid you are channeling this thing too much about money when we might be talking about the personal development and skills, because there are women, you're saying they're not getting enough money for being mothers, let's say, because they're being mothers, they're not being paid, and at the end it ends up the statistic that they're being paid less. But we actually should be talking about how they can be developed instead of how much money they're getting. So let's say during the time that there are mothers being at home as mothers because their child are very little, what can be done? So during this time, maybe they're not going to get money, but how can they also develop themselves at the point that after this 2-year gap of not working, when they restart working, they are at the same level. They should be at the same level as someone else that did work during these 2 years. So how do we keep that balance? Maybe they will not be paid because it's not all about the money. So what can we do so they can increase their skills and personal development during those 1 or 2 years?
Yeah. First, I do think it's a lot about the money.
It's a lot about the money, but it's not only about the money.
Like we one of our main like one of our goals is to help women become financially independent. But besides that, about development, I think I am a firm believer of community education of children. In my own example, again, this is just my idea. Some people may completely disagree with me. But in my example, again, I don't want to have children, but I'm always open to take care.
Just don't forget that your microphone is there.
Oh, sorry.
Every time you put your hand, it bumps.
Oops, sorry. I always tell my friends with children, and anytime you need some space for yourself, just bring me the child. Like, I really believe community has such a power in any so you feel like you belong somewhere. As again, Niva, I can see it, like people are more happier.
It's like a big family.
Yeah, exactly. I believe we should do that. I believe we should help each other all the time, and this will help women develop more as well. Like taking some Belastung from there, you know, like the charge of doing these things, because it's a big, like we have dogs and I don't want to come because I always get backlash when I say I have a dog. They are like, that's not a child. Okay, I understand.
It's very close,
but it's a huge responsibility. It's a huge, like
actually sometimes I said it's even worse, because child will grow up one day, but dogs never grow up. They always expect you to do things for him.
They are always dependent on you, always. So I understand how much work it takes. So I'm like, let's do it. Like let's all go together. Like with my ex, he has some nieces that are also, like, I still consider my nieces because we love each other so much, and we were all the time like, just bring them here and we take them and you have 1 week. Like we take care of them and you have 1 week of doing whatever you want. And I think this is very important, like building community. It's very important to help everyone.
This is maybe one reason why immigrant women have it a bit more hard time to develop here, because but immigrants don't have their parents here, for example, to help take care of the kids. I'm not saying that every Austrian has his parents to help them, but chances are that they do have more help from the parents to take care of the kids, so they can go to work earlier. But we don't. Immigrant families don't have that.
We don't have a support system.
Someone has to stay home at least. I think the kid is 2 years old or something.
Until 2 years old is possible.
So there are 2 years there. I'm not saying wasted because you're growing a child, but what about your life?
And also like public resources invested in childcare are very important.
Also, I think it's also a matter of mentality somehow. People at the age of 25, let's say couples who have been together for 5 years, or at the age of 27, 28, they immediately start thinking about buying a house because they're going to have a kid and they're going to leave the house to the kid. So they start taking loans. They start when the kid is born, they start doing things for themselves. They invest at least 5 years on doing everything for that kid. What about their life? So when are they getting their life back? It's not that they're going to be young again when they are 40 or 50, that the kid is grown up. And then you buy a house. After 30 years, you pay for it because it's a loan. So you don't really have a house. Your kids have a house, but you can't start at the age of 27 think of your life only for your kid. You have like at least 30 more creative years in your brain, so you can use them. But you throw that away because you decide to have kids.
I mean, as I said, I don't want to have children, and a lot of people ask me why, and I'm like, because I don't want to. And then I ask them, why do you want to have children? And they never expect this question. They are like, I don't know.
It's just it's just the way it is. No one knows how to explain it. I'm not contrary of having kids. I'm just saying that you need to. I'm against having kids before the 30s at least, because I think it needs some more time so you can consolidate yourself. Men, at least at 25, they start really growing up. So then it takes another 5 years to figure out what you really want to do with your life, to study or to develop some skills or something. Then another 5 years to do that, and then you can kind of, because kids are like kind of retirement. You retire when you have kids, so and you can't retire at 28 or 27.
It's crazy. So I am also that. I'm not against people having kids. They can do whatever they want with their lives, and if they already did it, at least the least thing we can do is to help them and build community, and they also help us. Like being with children is really fun. So why not?
It's like being around dogs, but kids throw up all the time.
Yeah.
And they say then that dogs are dirty.
Yeah. I love my dog, so no comments there.
Yeah, I saw that you also put him as a team member in the website.
Yes.
What's the name?
Suki.
Suki. It's a female?
She's a female,
Yeah, it's in the website.
Yeah.
It's a team pet. It
Yeah,
says.
yeah.
They're the team members. There are 2 co-founders. There are 7 volunteers, and there's a pet.
Yeah.
Suki. That was very
She's
funny.
always there. She's always with me everywhere, almost all the time. Yeah. So
There was a nice group picture that you have there.
Yeah. We're taking today. Today we're meeting and we're taking new pictures.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And we are also working on our rebranding. So we are going to have a new logo, have a new Mether website, and probably we're going to start selling merch because we need money and some kind of way. And we're going to take new pictures.
Well, why don't you do paid events? The workshops?
We do. So our events. So if you're a member, you have to pay for the membership, but it's very, very low.
Yeah.
It's 35 euros a year. It's going to be enough
per year.
Per year.
It's nothing.
Yeah,
and it's a huge representation in some way.
Yeah, and it's 24 students and unemployed people as well. And then our workshops, for example, the next one that we have about projects, it's going to be 7 euros for non-members, and included if you have the membership. So it's still very, very cheap. But this is the thing, we were thinking when we were creating the organization, we saw, for example, CV workshop, and it was 60, 70 euros. And I was like, if I'm unemployed, because I don't have 70 euros for that. Like, thank you so much, I appreciate your effort a lot, but I don't have this money. So we try to be very, very accessible and very affordable because also, funnily enough, it was not on purpose. We have a lot of young people, so they are students, they don't have a lot of money, or they are looking for a job or whatever. So we try to be
probably
affordable.
Just moved here.
Exactly. So we try to make it easy to access. And this is our volunteering job, providing our time to be able to make it cheap.
That's
for the
brave.
others. Yeah.
That's very brave. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
I hope you achieve the changes you want to achieve.
Me too.
All right. Looking forward to next time we'll talk together. It was a very nice chat.
Thank you. Yes, I'm happy as well.
Thanks. Say hi to Suki.
Hi, Suki.